The Galactic Union's military base trembles as alarms blare across the command center. Through a cracked viewport, streaks of red and blue tear across the dark sky, starships crumbling under the relentless onslaught. The Zale have come, an unstoppable force. Towering, biomechanical creatures, they crash through the base's defenses like waves against sandcastles. Their armored bodies glisten under the flames of burning infrastructure, their massive claws slicing through anything that dares to stand in their way. Energy shields buckle, and the once proud defenses of the Union falter as alien soldiers crumble under the weight of the Zale's charge. They are fast, brutal, and precise, tearing through platoons with terrifying efficiency. On the surface of the war-torn planet, the ground is littered with wrecked starships, twisted metal, and the bodies of fallen soldiers. Fire illuminates the charred remains of what used to be a bustling military outpost. The Zale show no mercy, cutting down even the most advanced defenses, leaving only chaos and destruction in their wake. The few remaining Union forces scatter in a desperate attempt to flee. It's only a matter of time before the base falls completely. Captain Ava Graves watches it all from the safety of a distant command post on Earth, her jaw clenched. The sounds of the battle play out through the crackling transmissions, a constant reminder of what's coming. In a vast hall, representatives of the Galactic Union gather around a holographic table, their faces grim. Alien diplomats, their skin marked with the distinctive features of their species, glance nervously at each other, then toward Ava's hollow image. They don't believe humanity can do much in this fight. They're not built for this, one of them mutters, shaking their head. Humans, they're too small, too fragile. Ava stands at attention, her face unreadable. She listens as the Union praises humanity's contributions in diplomacy and technology, patting themselves on the back for integrating the fledgling race into their coalition. But when it comes to war, when it comes to facing an enemy like the Zale, their doubts are laid bare. They believe humanity's role is secondary, insignificant, meant only for logistics and minor skirmishes. Ava knows better. Behind the scenes, humanity has been preparing. There's something the Union doesn't know, something even most of Earth's population doesn't. Project Titan. She has felt it in the air, the anticipation building. And now, as the Council continues its discussion, her mind drifts to the underground facility where the project waits to be unleashed. Once the meeting adjourns, Ava moves swiftly through the steel corridors of the Earth Command Center. The cool metallic walls reflect her determined expression as she makes her way to the secure lift. After a retinal scan, she steps inside, descending into the depths of the Earth. At the lowest levels of the base, she walks into the heart of humanity's last hope. The sterile, fluorescent-lit corridors pulse with an eerie quiet, amplifying her steady footsteps. She arrives at a heavily guarded door, which slides open to reveal the core of Project Titan. Scientists in white coats and military uniforms mill around, examining data, running final tests. The air is tense. Dr. Isaac Werner stands at the center of the chaos, overseeing the activation of the program. He turns as Ava enters, his face a mix of exhaustion and grim determination. "This is it, Captain. We're out of time," he says, motioning toward the rows of equipment. Monitors display the genetic sequences and readouts of the enhancements about to be applied. The Zale have shown us what we're up against. If we don't use this now, we'll never have another chance. Ava nods silently. She's known this was coming. The project has been in development for years, humanity's final answer to the question of survival. Gene modification that would push the human body beyond its natural limits, enhancing strength, speed, and endurance to levels no species in the galaxy had ever seen. It was experimental, dangerous, but now, it was their only option. Werner walks Ava through the process. The Titans, as the enhanced soldiers are called, would undergo agonizing physical transformation. Their muscles would tear, regenerate, and expand. Bones would strengthen, their very DNA rewritten to make them stronger, faster, and more resilient than anything that had come before. This won't be easy, Werner warns. You'll feel pain like nothing else, but once it's over, you'll be stronger than anyone in the Union ever imagined. Ava steps toward the chamber, the faint hum of the machinery filling the room as it powers up. There's no hesitation in her movements. She strips down to the uniform required for the procedure, feeling the weight of the moment. As the chamber seals around her, the injections begin, searing pain flooding her senses. Her muscles scream as they are forcibly altered, bones stretching and reshaping. Her vision blurs, her heart pounds wildly in her chest, but Ava holds on. She knows the pain is only temporary, a stepping stone to what she needs to become. The screams of the soldiers on the battlefield echo in her mind, fueling her determination. Earth needs her. Humanity needs her. Minutes pass like hours, and when the process finally ends, Ava collapses to the floor of the chamber, her breathing ragged. Slowly, she pulls herself up. Her body feels different. Stronger. As if the very air around her is lighter. She looks at Werner, who watches her with a mixture of awe and relief. "Welcome to Project Titan," he says softly. Ava and her squad sit silently in the drop ship, feeling the tension building as they descend toward the Zale-occupied planet below. Each of them is now a Titan, their bodies enhanced, stronger than any human has ever been. The ship shudders as it cuts through the atmosphere, the rumble of the engines barely drowning out the distant sounds of battle on the comms. Around them, the other soldiers strap into their armor, each piece designed to contain their newfound strength, yet straining to do so. Ava adjusts her helmet, her mind focused on the mission ahead. This was their first test, their first real battle since the transformation, and they couldn't afford to fail. The drop ship crashes hard onto the planet's surface, shaking the squad as it lands in the middle of a burning city. The hatch bursts open, and smoke pours into the cabin, mixing with the acrid smell of burning metal and flesh. They step out into chaos. The city is crumbling under the weight of the Zale's occupation. Buildings lie in ruin, fires rage unchecked, and the ground is littered with debris from wrecked vehicles and fallen troops. The sky is thick with ash, darkening the horizon, while the sound of distant gunfire echoes through the desolation. Ava leads her team into the heart of the city, where the Zale forces have gathered, their tall, imposing figures moving with deadly precision. The Titans move quickly, faster and stronger than any regular human soldiers would have. Their boots hit the ground hard, but there's no time to think, only to fight. As they turn a corner, they come face to face with a Zale patrol. The moment of recognition lasts a split second before the first shot is fired. The Titans charge forward. Ava slams into a Zale trooper, her enhanced strength sending the massive creature crashing through a nearby wall. Around her, the squad engages, fists and weapons smashing into their enemies with brutal efficiency. The Zale are armored, their bodies encased in thick exoskeletons, but it doesn't matter. The Titans punch through their defenses, their blows breaking through metal and bone. Ava grabs a fallen piece of debris, swinging it like a club, and it connects with a Zale's head, the impact shattering its helmet and sending it crashing to the ground. The Zale, for the first time in their campaign, are caught off guard. No species has ever fought them with such raw physical power. They try to regroup, to push back, but the Titans are relentless. Another Zale charges at Ava, its claws aimed at her throat. She sidesteps at the last second, her arm coming up to block its strike before driving her fist into its chest. The Zale stumbles back, but she doesn't give it a chance to recover. In one swift motion, she grabs the creature by its arm and hurls it into the side of a building, the concrete shattering under the force of the impact. One of her squad mates, Jackson, is pinned under the weight of a Zale trooper. He struggles, his enhanced muscles straining against the creature's weight, but he can't break free. Ava moves quickly, charging at the Zale with all the force she can muster. She smashes into it, knocking it off Jackson, and before it can recover, she drives a sharpened piece of metal through its neck. The Zale gurgles, its body twitching before falling limp. Jackson gasps for breath, nodding in silent thanks before pulling himself to his feet, ready to fight again. The battle rages on, but the Titans don't just rely on brute strength. They're smarter, faster. Ava surveys the battlefield, her mind racing as she analyzes the chaos around them. The Zale are powerful, but they're predictable, relying on overwhelming force to crush their enemies. The Titans, though, humans, have always thrived on adaptability. Ava signals to her squad, and they begin moving through the urban environment, using the crumbling buildings and debris to their advantage. They lay traps, using the remains of vehicles and structures to create choke points, forcing the Zale into confined spaces where their size becomes a liability. Ava watches as her squad takes down another group of Zale, using a combination of guerrilla tactics and raw power to outmaneuver them. The Zale charge, but the Titans are already gone, disappearing into the smoke and rubble only to reappear from a different angle, striking hard and fast. It's a brutal game of cat and mouse, but the Titans are always one step ahead. Ava leads them through it all, calm and efficient, her every move calculated. There's no hesitation, no wasted energy. She's embraced what she has become, and with each Zale that falls, her resolve strengthens. Despite the chaos around them, Ava's focus never wavers. She knows they're not just fighting for survival, they're proving something. To the Zale, to the Union, to the entire galaxy. Humanity has been underestimated for too long, but now the Titans are here. Stronger, faster, and smarter than anyone expected. And Ava is determined to show the universe just how powerful humans can be. As the last of the Zale forces fall, Ava stands amidst the wreckage, her breath steady despite the adrenaline coursing through her veins. The city is still burning, but the Titans have won this battle. She looks to her squad, battered but alive, and nods. They're not done yet, not by a long shot. This is only the beginning. The Galactic Union's council chamber is filled with a thick tension as the leaders of the various species gather around the holographic footage. Images of the Titans tearing through Zale forces play on the screen, the sheer brutality and force shocking even the most battle-hardened among them. Murmurs ripple through the room as the alien diplomats exchange worried glances. For years, they had seen humans as useful but largely inferior, diplomatic mediators, talented engineers, but not soldiers capable of this level of carnage. Now, watching the footage of Ava and her squad decimating the Zale, they realize how wrong they were. Lieutenant Commander Thalric, a CERN diplomat with a sharp, reptilian face, is the first to voice the rising concern. His voice cuts through the murmurs as he stands to address the council, his expression hard with disapproval. This is not the kind of power we can tolerate, he hisses, his claws tapping on the table as he speaks. The Titans are unstable. Look at them. Humans are already an emotional species, this strength will make them reckless, uncontrollable. What if they turn on us next? Others nod in agreement, their concerns echoing in the chamber. Some fear that if humans continue on this path, they will no longer just be allies, but a dangerous force capable of challenging even the most advanced civilizations in the Union. There's a palpable fear in the room, a collective realization that the very species they once looked down upon might soon be a threat to their own standing. The humans must be monitored closely, another diplomat adds, shaking their head as the footage continues to play. We cannot allow them to disrupt the balance of power. What they've done to their soldiers, it's unnatural. But the debate is far from one-sided. A few representatives, though cautious, argue that the strength of the Titans could be the key to defeating the Zale once and for all. We need them, a voice counters, standing firm against the wave of doubt. Without the humans, we would have lost the last outpost. They've proven their worth. Despite the argument, tension remains thick, and the Union support wavers. Ava's actions, heroic as they are, have not just shaken the Zale but also the very foundation of how the Union views humanity. Ava sits in a quiet corner of the base, her body still aching from the battle. The enhancements have given her unimaginable strength, but the toll they've taken is undeniable. Every muscle in her body feels strained, her bones still throbbing from the endless fighting. She knows her limits have been pushed far beyond what they once were, but at what cost? She feels the weight of the modifications in every movement, the lingering pain a reminder of what she's sacrificed. Memories flash through her mind, her life before the war, before the Titan project. There were days spent with family, laughing with friends, a future that wasn't centered around violence and survival. She had dreams once, aspirations beyond the military, but those were a distant memory now. Ava sacrificed everything for this moment, for the strength to defend her planet, but the price weighs heavily on her soul. There are nights when she lies awake, unable to sleep, haunted by the faces of fallen comrades and the destruction she's left in her wake. The enhancements didn't just make her body stronger, they made her a weapon. And while she's embraced her role, part of her can't forget the person she used to be. The relentless combat, the deaths of her fellow soldiers, it's all a constant reminder that strength comes with a cost. And she wonders, just for a moment, if it was worth it. The thought vanishes as the alarms sound. She stands abruptly, pushing the pain aside as the base erupts into controlled chaos. Reports flood in, the Zale have launched a counterattack. This time, they're targeting Earth. The heart of humanity, the cradle of her species, is now under direct threat. And once again, it's Ava and her Titans who are called to the front lines. A message comes through the command channels, the Union is hesitant to act. Some are reluctant to send reinforcements, fearing humanity's growing power. They sit back, watching from a distance, waiting to see if Earth can survive on its own. For them, it's a test, an opportunity to see if humanity's strength is as real as the footage suggests, or if they'll collapse under the weight of their own hubris. Ava clenches her fists, her resolve hardening. She doesn't need their help. She knows what's at stake, and she knows what she has to do. The fate of Earth, the fate of humanity, rests on her shoulders and those of her fellow Titans. It's a burden she's willing to carry. As the drop ship prepares for departure, Ava takes a final moment to breathe. She looks at her squad, each of them hardened by battle, each of them carrying the same weight she does. They all know the truth, this isn't just another mission. It's the defense of their home, the last stand against an enemy that has threatened their very existence. And the Union, the galaxy, they're all watching. Waiting for humanity to fail. But Ava knows they won't. Not this time. With one last nod to her team, she boards the drop ship. The engines roar to life, and as they ascend toward the battle ahead, Ava steels herself for what's to come. She's ready. No matter the cost. The Zale fleet appears above Earth like an ominous shadow, their massive ships blotting out the sun. The sheer size of their armada dwarfs anything humanity has ever seen. From orbit, they unleash hell upon the planet, raining destruction on its cities. The sky lights up with the glow of orbital bombardments, entire metropolises reduced to ash in a matter of moments. The ground shakes as buildings collapse, and civilians flee in every direction, desperate to escape the annihilation raining down from above. Panic spreads like wildfire, but amidst the chaos, Ava and her Titans remain focused. They've trained for this, sacrificed everything for this moment, and now they stand as Earth's last line of defense. Across the comms, evacuation orders are given. The Titans mobilize, scattered across strategic points to repel the Zale's ground assault. Massive troop carriers break through the atmosphere, depositing waves of Zale soldiers into the heart of Earth's cities. Despite their best efforts, it's clear that humanity's defenses are being overwhelmed. The Zale are relentless, their forces seemingly endless. The Union's lack of support is felt deeply, but Ava and her squad don't flinch. They know this is the battle that will decide everything. The United Nations fortress, a last bastion of hope, stands in the ruins of New York City. It's here that Ava and her Titans make their final stand. The once great city lies in rubble, its iconic skyline now nothing more than twisted metal and burning debris. The Zale flood the streets, pushing forward with overwhelming numbers, their forces surging toward the fortress like a tidal wave of death. But Ava and her Titans refuse to give ground. This is where they will hold the line. Ava's heart pounds as she leads her squad into the fray. The battle is brutal, far more savage than anything they've faced before. The Zale swarm them, their biomechanical bodies crashing into the Titans with terrifying force. But the Titans are stronger. Ava swings a wrecked piece of steel into a Zale soldier's chest, shattering its exoskeleton and sending it crashing to the ground. Around her, her squad fights with every ounce of strength they have, fists, weapons, and debris becoming extensions of their fury. The Titan's raw physical power is on full display. One lifts a Zale over their head, throwing it into a collapsing building, while another smashes through an entire squad with a single, bone-crushing strike. Yet for every Zale they take down, more seem to appear, and the Titans are running out of time. Ava surveys the battlefield, her eyes scanning the chaos for a weakness, a way to turn the tide. And then she sees him, Yulakare, the Zale commander. Towering above even his own troops, Yulakare is a force of nature, a living engine of destruction. His armor gleams in the firelight, and his eyes burn with contempt as he surveys the battlefield, locking onto Ava. With a mocking sneer, he strides forward, pushing through his own soldiers to face her. "You think your strength matters, human?" Yulakare's voice booms, filled with disdain. "You are nothing but insects to us." Ava steps forward, every muscle in her body screaming in protest, but she pushes through the pain. "We're not insects," she growls, her voice steady despite the exhaustion creeping in. "We're Titans." The ground shakes as the two meet in a clash of raw power. Yulakare swings first, his massive arm colliding with Ava's armor, sending her sprawling into the rubble. She gasps, the impact knocking the wind out of her, but she refuses to stay down. Gritting her teeth, she pulls herself up, charging at the Zale commander with everything she has. Her fists connect with his chest, and for a moment, it feels like punching a wall. But Ava doesn't stop. She keeps hitting, every strike driven by the need to protect her planet, her people. Yulakare roars in fury, swiping at her with a clawed hand. Ava barely ducks in time, the tips of his claws grazing her armor. She's faster, more agile than he is, and she uses it to her advantage. Darting around him, she lands blow after blow, each one more powerful than the last. But Yulakare isn't just strong, he's relentless. His next attack sends Ava crashing into the remains of a building, debris falling around her as she struggles to stand. For a moment, it feels like everything might slip away. Her body is battered, her strength fading, but she digs deep. She thinks of everything that's brought her to this moment, the pain, the sacrifices, the lives lost. She can't stop now. Not when Earth's survival depends on her. With a final surge of strength, Ava launches herself at Yulakare, tapping into the very limits of her Titan capabilities. Her muscles scream in protest, but she doesn't care. She grabs Yulakare by the arm and, with an earth-shattering roar, pulls him down, slamming him into the ground with all the force she can muster. The Zale commander tries to rise, but Ava is already on him, her fists raining down like hammers. Blow after blow, she strikes, until finally, with one last, brutal punch, Yulakare's helmet shatters, and his body goes still. The battlefield falls silent as the Zale forces pause, stunned by the sight of their leader lying broken at Ava's feet. Without their commander, the remaining Zale begin to falter. Confusion spreads through their ranks, and within moments, they retreat, their once unstoppable force crumbling in the face of defeat. The battle is over. Humanity has won. But the victory comes at a cost. Ava stands amidst the wreckage, her body battered, blood seeping through her armor. Around her, the bodies of fallen Titans lie scattered, their sacrifice etched into the ruins of the city. Earth is scarred, its cities reduced to rubble, but it still stands. And as Ava looks up at the sky, the Zale ships retreating into the void, she knows that humanity has proven something today. They are not just survivors. They are fighters. Back at the Galactic Union, the debates continue. Some still question humanity's place in the galaxy, still fear their growing strength. But now, no one can deny it. Humans are strong, stronger than anyone could have imagined. And as Ava limps back to her team, exhausted but alive, she knows that they've not only defended Earth but redefined what it means to be human. They are F*King strong. The fires have died down, but the scars of war remain. Earth's cities, once thriving with life, now stand in ruins. The streets are littered with debris, the echoes of destruction lingering in the air. Yet amidst the devastation, life begins to stir once more. Civilians emerge from the underground shelters, their faces marked with fear but also with a glimmer of hope. The rebuilding has begun. Though shattered, Earth has survived, and humanity has proven that they will not be broken. The Titans, once a secret experiment, are now hailed as heroes, but their very existence serves as a reminder of the price humanity had to pay to achieve this victory. The Galactic Union, though grudging, has no choice but to acknowledge humanity's place among them. No longer seen as weak, Earth's people are now a recognized military power, their strength undeniable after the battle for Earth. Ava's name is whispered across the galaxy, not just as a warrior, but as a symbol of human resilience. Other species, once skeptical of humanity's role in the war, now watch with a new sense of respect and caution. The Titans are feared as much as they are celebrated, their raw power a double-edged sword in the eyes of the galaxy. Standing on the edge of the ruined city, Ava gazes out over the landscape. The sun sets behind the rubble, casting a blood-red glow over what remains. Her body still aches, the remnants of the battle lingering in her bones. But it's the faces of the fallen that weigh on her the most. Every Titan who gave their life for this victory, every soldier who stood by her side, their sacrifice etched into her soul. She thinks back to who she was before the Titan project, before the war. A different person, softer, with dreams that didn't involve endless conflict. That person is long gone. The victory is bittersweet. Humanity has emerged stronger than ever, but at what cost? The Titans have become something more than human, symbols of strength, yes, but also of the fragility that comes with that power. Ava knows that, for all their victories, humanity's true strength lies not in brute force, but in their ability to endure. To rebuild. To survive, no matter the odds. As she watches the first steps of Earth's recovery unfold before her, Ava knows one thing for certain: the battle may be over, but the fight for humanity's future has only just begun. And she will be there, ready to face whatever comes next.